On this telecast, from time to time, we speak to people who are really having a fantastic experience of the joy of living. And I'm about to describe to you a young man who's going to come before the camera in just a moment. I talked to him in person for the first time on yesterday. But we've been writing to each other ever since he was in prison. This young man's testimony is so beautiful. Perhaps it begins when he was 14 years old and he started using drugs and then got into pushing drugs until finally he was caught and sent to prison. And while he was in prison, his sister introduced him to our ministry. And he started writing to me, and I started sending copies of our Action magazine to him, even in prison. He said they wouldn't let any mail or anything get through to him in prison, but for some reason or the other, they let our Action magazine get through to him in prison. There in what he called a steel box, a 4-by-6 prison cell, this young man found the presence of God within him that we're always talking about on these telecasts and in this ministry and in our Action magazines. And when he found the presence of God within his very own being, it changed his life. And they let him out on parole. And immediately after he got out on parole, after being in prison for a life of using drugs and pushing drugs, he found gainful employment on the campus of Virginia State College down in Petersburg, Virginia. He has found the joy of living. And he's here today with his lovely girlfriend. And I'm going to have them come at this time, Mr. Timothy Mayfield and Miss Bonnie Major from Petersburg, Virginia. Give them a great big hand. Bless you. Bless you. Now take a look at this young man. Let's step out here into this. People, isn't this a good example of what can happen to people when they find the presence of God within? When he told me this amazing happening in his life, it seems so hard to believe because you can take one look at him and you can tell that he's together. Is that right? And girls, you're very sorry, but he's already engaged. Timothy, why don't you tell us just a little bit about your experience in life and how you found the presence of God within you?
Well, Reverend Ike and congregation, it gives me indeed great pleasure to be here this afternoon to give my testimony. And I had been struggling through life since, say, 14 until maybe 25. And through my sister, I met your ministry, and I cast away all my negative thinking, and I've been a positive thinker, and I don't feel like I have any limitations in life anymore. I feel like I can climb the highest mountain. Yeah, and I'm happy and giving thanks to the presence of God in me. And I would like for all my friends and the people that are incarceration to be aware of the presence of God in them, and all doubts and fears, all hang-ups would be all over with. Like I was telling you, I feel like life is a natural high.
Wow! Now, well, how long, by the way, did you stay in prison because of the drug scene?
Maybe 18 months at the most.
About 18 months. And he told me something very interesting also. He's now still out on parole until October, and he got permission to come here to be on this telecast. Didn't he get himself together fast? And not only that, after he got out from prison, you see, he's a hairdresser by profession. He got himself a job on the campus of Virginia State College, and look what he found. So he says they're going to get married, and he's inviting me down to perform the ceremony. And I'm just thinking that this man's experience should be an example to anybody, that no matter what your hang-ups were, no matter what your conditions and circumstances may be, you can get a hold of yourself and experience the joy of living. I want every one of you to say to yourself, and to those of you looking in by television, I can get a hold of myself and experience the joy of living. Come on. And experience the joy. No one has an excuse. No matter what your condition, no matter what the past may have been, you can overcome all the negatives of the past. And I want every one of you to say with me, I can overcome all of the negatives of the past. Together? Tell yourself that and touch yourself, and you listening in by television, because many times, you know, people are hung up about the past. They haven't been what they should have been, they haven't done what they should have done, and they are not having what they could have had. But you don't have to have hang-ups about that. You can overcome all of the negatives of the past. And I want you to tell yourself that in the first person. Let each one point to himself, even you looking in by television, and say with us, I can overcome all of the negatives of the past. Come on, together. I can overcome all of the negatives of the past. All right. Let's all stand. And let's rejoice for what the power, what the presence of God can do when people discover this power, this presence within them. I want to ask you just one more question because I don't remember it. How long has it been since you've been out of prison now?
It's a little better than 12 months.
A little better than 12 months. And look how together he is. What are you people are going to do that do nothing but roam the streets? This young man could be bitter. Is that right? This man could be angry with society. This young man, if he wanted to, could try to tear down the world. Because, you know, there's a great cop-out game that people play today. People blame society for everything. People blame someone else for everything that happens to them. And all you people who are bitter at life, may this young man's experience sort of help you to sweeten up to life. And when you sweeten up to life, you will experience the joy of living. This young man and his fiancée are such wonderful examples of beautiful young people and of what you can be and do and have when you really believe in yourself. So God bless you, Tim. God bless you, Bonnie. Let me know when you set that date now. Huh?
Yes, I have to let you know.
All right, let me know when you set that date. Give them a big hand. Go on back and sit down with us and enjoy the service. Remain standing with me. From sinking sand, he lifted me with outstretched hand. He from shades of night, from shades of night, to rays of light. Oh, praise his name. He this he that lifts you from shades of night to plains of light. It is the presence of God in you. It is the power of God in you. It is the mind of God in you. When you become aware of it, that lifts you from shades of night to plains of light. Oh, praise his name. He lifted me. No matter what your condition, what your circumstance, no matter what your hang-up, no matter what your failure, no matter what your limitations and lacks may have been, when you discover the presence of God within you that lifts you, as I said some time ago, when you find out who you are, it doesn't matter what you've been.